I've got 2 light bars and a pod light here. They're all from a company called Rigidhorse off of Amazon. They sent these bars out to me to do a review, and I told them that I would do an honest review on them. And basically what I want to find out is if these are inexpensive or if they're cheap. Here we are with another light bar, and like I said in the beginning, these light bars that I'm going to be testing were sent to me by Rigidhorse. This one is a little bit different. It's kind of an interesting design. It's not your standard style LED light bar. It is a reflector style. I'll get some close-up shots and everything so you can see a little bit better of what it looks like and everything. I actually really like the way it looks. I mean, it's really interesting, and it's a dual function, so it has your regular on feature, and it has kind of like a daytime running light feature. It just kind of backlights itself just a little bit. This is sold as a 52-inch bar. Measured it out, it's 45 inches. Kind of odd, so it's not a 40, it's not a 50. Actually, I think this might be sold as a 52. I'll have to double check on that. But still, I mean, it's 45 inches, so it's kind of an odd size. It is marketed as 400 watts. I don't believe that for a minute. Like the other bar, we will test and kind of try to get a ballpark figure on that. I know it seems like, I come off kind of harsh on these products right from the get-go. I haven't done any testing or anything with these lights as of yet, so I really have no reason to come down on them other than, well, I guess I do have reason to come down on them. They're rating this as 400 watts. I guarantee it is not a 400 watt light bar. It didn't come with any type of harness or anything, which might be a good thing, because if it came with a harness like the previous quad row light bar that I did the review on, if it came with that kind of harness, it's better that it didn't, because like I said in that video, and I'm going to say it in this video, that harness is just dangerous. The wiring is way too small, and it shouldn't be used to support anything more than 5 or 10 amps. So even if this thing is only a few watts, I would almost guarantee it's going to produce more than 5 or 10 amps, hopefully. This one, unlike the other light bar that we did in the previous video, this one actually came packaged really well. It came with foam end caps, it was wrapped in plastic, and it had foam inserts that were, kind of put all around it. So it was actually held into the box, really nice. So packaging a lot better on this one than the previous light bar. Before we actually get into any banging on this thing or torture tests, I am going to test these things in water, because this one is actually, what is it, IP69K rated. I had to look that up to see what it was, because I've seen, the IP67 and IP68. Those are ratings for, dust and water and stuff like that. I'm not going to get completely into those, but the IP69K is pressure and heat rated. It's normally used in like medical and food grade style equipment. It can take high pressure hot water, so you can take like a steam pressure washer to it, is what they say. I don't have a steam pressure washer, I have a bucket of water. And I don't have a bucket of water deep enough, but like you saw in the other video, same bucket, just fill it up a little bit, and I'm gonna dunk it in there. But before we do that, I wanna go out and actually test it and see how bright it is and everything, just in case it doesn't survive the water test. I at least wanna see what it looks like before that. So let's go check it out and see how bright it is. All right, we're out here in the dark parking lot again. Sorry for the noise, the fan's running on the Jeep, and I'm trying to get this done fairly quick. So yeah, we're gonna test out this interesting looking light bar here. And I'm actually pretty impressed. I'm not sure how it comes across on camera, but this thing is a pretty impressive spotlight. I'm gonna come out here, like in all the videos, I try to come out to the same spot, and man, that thing is really bright. I'm gonna try to get the lux meter out here. Okay, yeah, that's actually off that scale, so let's change that scale. 207, that's 207 times 10. 2,000 lux? That's pretty crazy. That would be 2,100 lux. Yeah, it keeps fluctuating right around 2,100. And, I mean, I go back a little bit and it starts dropping off. Get back over into the hot spot of it. But, I mean, at the same mark where I am, and by mark, I mean this little spot I made here in the ice. Okay, we had 22 there. And as you can see, this is times 10 on this scale because I can't use the other scale. It kind of pegs it. I'm actually really impressed with that light. It is really concentrated. It's like a really, really concentrated spot style beam. So like I can stand over here and it's not blinding me at all. I don't even know if the camera can see me. It's so far away. But it's not even, you know, really messing with me. And I can start walking over here, and it's till I get to here, I start getting glare, but I move that much and the glare is gone. So, I mean, it's a pretty clear cut spot pattern. It is an interesting light. And the odd thing is you can kind of flip it over and make different patterns with it. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. I'm gonna pick it up off the Jeep because I don't have it mounted. I mean, if you can see, this is it sideways. And then this is it flipped upside down. It actually has a little bit more of a spread when it's flipped upside down, a little less concentrated, and then flip it back the other direction. I know it's probably hard to see me, but I wanted to show the little daytime running light feature on this light. It's pretty interesting. I've looked at a couple different pictures of this light. It didn't come with any instructions, so honestly, I don't know if I have it turned upside down or not, because as you saw, it is an interesting shape. Well, not shape, but it's interesting, we'll say that. But that's the daytime running light feature. As you saw, this bar actually pretty surprising. It says, I didn't pay attention to it, it says spot and flood combo. I wouldn't say there's any flood to this at all. It really seems to be a spot, but that's a pretty impressive spot. So, I mean, I do have to give them points on that. I am really, really impressed with the light output of this and how defined it actually is, the cutoff point is. I don't know how it came across on camera, but as you saw, you know, I could walk out and it could be blindingly bright, but I could just take, you know, a step to the side and it was, you know, completely cut off and it wasn't, you know, bright at all. So, I mean, it was really, really focused on one spot and it was really intensely bright in that one spot. I do like the daytime running feature. I thought that was kind of cool. I like it better than a lot of, you know, light bars that have like a little kind of halo all the way around them. That doesn't look as good, I don't think, as the way this does, where it has a couple little LEDs that are kind of built down inside it for the daytime running feature. So just like the other bar, before we do any water testing on it, I'm gonna go ahead and get out the test battery and we're gonna see how many amps it pulls, just like the other one, and see if we can get a rough guess of how many watts it's actually producing. And again, they claimed 400. Let's see what we can get. We're gonna turn it on real quick and see if we can kind of catch how many amps at how many volts we have. So right now we're at 13.93 volts and see 13.3. I saw 13.3 amps at 12.5 volts. So with that, it seems like we're right about at 166 watts. So it's like a 160 watt light bar basically. And again, they're claiming 400 and less than half. So again, a little over exaggerated on the numbers. Okay, here we are at the bucket again. And what we're gonna do is take this light bar and just like the other one we did, we're gonna dunk it in cord end first. turn it on and see what happens. I don't see a whole bunch of bubbles coming up. That's a good thing. Let's turn it on. Trying to lean it that way like I did with the other one, because I think if I point it, it's not that bad that way. I was just trying to keep from blinding the camera. I'm looking through the viewfinder and it actually looks like the LEDs that are underwater aren't working, but they are. It just, once they go under, it looks like they're not. And this actually puts off a fair amount of heat, just to do like we did with the other. This one has the same style vent on it. And take it and flip it over, dunk the vent side in. I don't see any bubbles. And I think we took the other one and we flipped it back to the cord end and left it in for a few minutes to see if anything happened. So we'll let that set and see if anything happens after a few minutes. It's been in there for a few minutes. I've kind of moved it around and flipped it in different directions and stuff just to make sure that it actually got down in there. Hasn't stopped working or anything. Let's turn it off and see if there's any water inside. I don't see anything. It looks to be fairly dry in there. So, yeah, I guess it is waterproof, or at least for the amount of time. I had it in there for probably about 10 minutes or so. So to wrap it up for this light bar, this one I was pretty impressed with. I would say it's worth the price. When Rigidhorse sent it to me, it was, I believe, $79, so it was like 80 bucks, but it was, you know, just this light bar. And now, when you order it, see if I can turn it so you can see what this crazy thing looks like. But now when you buy it, it's $159, I think, but it comes with a set of the like little cube lights. I would say this one is worth it because, I mean, the output is really, really nice. It says spot flood, but this thing is definitely more of a spot style, and it's really, really bright for the money. And it has the daytime running light feature that I really like. So this one, I would say, yeah, this one's a pretty good light. It's not 400 watts like they say it is. We tested it and it's like 160. So it's not, you know, the highest in wattage, but with this reflector style light, it really, really makes a difference. Even at 160, 170 watts, this thing's really impressive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go into my channel, check out a couple other videos. I've got all kinds of stuff in there. If you find a video that you like, leave a like. If you have something to say, leave it down in the comments. And if you find a couple videos that you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.